In 1984, Whitesnake released album number 6 called Slide It In. This is the rock and roll weatherman. My name is Sean Morrison, and it came out on in Europe on January 30th, 1984, then on the 6th of February in the United Kingdom, both by Liberty and EMI Records, respectively. And then to cater to the American market, the album was remixed and resequenced and subsequently released on April 16th of 1984 in North America via Geffen Records after the group was signed to the label prior to its release. Remember those days when record releases, sometimes in different countries, they came out on different days. Well, those were the days. This album is widely regarded, decided in as a pivotal release for Whitesnake, as it marked their initial success in the United States and laid the groundwork for their breakthrough later in the 1980s. Notably, it was the last Whitesnake album to feature the band's original snake logo. The distinct editions of this album exist, each with reflecting a different production approach. Excuse me. Sorry about that. The original mix was criticized for its flat sound, while the remix adopted a more modern and polished production style, aligning with the growing popularity of the American glam metal scene. The remix proved instrumental in refining Whitesnake's sound, helping the band establish a stronger identity in the competitive U.S. market, giving it the voice that the group wanted. Critics have described the album as a blend of blues rock and glam metal. The remixed version, in particular, is praised for the energy and accessible where resonated with the American audiences, and it achieved considerable success. Number 9 in the UK album charts, marking their fourth top 10 appearance in their native country. In the United States, the album peaked at number 40 on the Billboard Top 200 and eventually re-entered in 1988 due to the success of their self-titled debut album, and it was later on certified double platinum by the RIAA, and it's one of the best-selling rock albums with over 6 million copies sold worldwide. They had singles of Guilty of Love, Give Me More Time, Standing in the Shadows, and Love Ain't No Stranger, which were released to promote the album in the United States. Love Ain't No Stranger and Slow and Easy received heavy airplay on the hard rock and significant exposure through their accompanying MTV videos. And these tracks, like I said, became signature songs for the band, bolstering their growing presence on the American rock scene. And also slotted in positively critiqued in music magazines and critics, particularly in North America, where it earned accolades for its fusion of blues rock and glam metal. And also during the tour of Slide In, before I get into the album discussions and all that, the band underwent significant lineup changes as founding guitarist Mick Moody left the group in the album's recording and was replaced by John Sykes, formerly of Thin Lizzy and Tiger of the Pantang, while bassist Colin Hogginson was replaced by a returning Neil Murray. There's so many fucking people here in this band, it's not even funny. Guitarist Mel Gailey also left due to a nerve injury, with longtime keyboardist John Lord departed the band. Yeah, remember he was in Deep Purple and went back to them? He left them to go back to Deep Purple because they released Perfect Strangers later in the year. And drummer Cozy Powell would leave the band also to form Emerson, Lake and Palmer in January 1985 after the supporting tour finished. These changes eventually changed the band's evolution and style, leading to the 1980s while rising in popularity. And, um, and they released their fifth album, Satan's Sinners, in 1982, which proved to be difficult as tensions between band members' positions, including a major change to their management and lack of financial payouts, despite being a drug draw in the UK. That's when David Coverdale made his permanent changes to management at the time was being released and temporarily put the band on hold. And now getting into the albums track listings and all, because if I sit here and talk about any more background on here, we'll be here for another 50 years. Okay. Now, where was I? I'm getting to the track listing. Do not worry, friends. This was a great fucking album. The first The first side was, of course, Gambler, Sliding In, Standing in the Shadows, Give Me More Time, Loving No Stranger. Some of the stuff you hear on Hand Nation deep cuts all the time, like like Give Me More Time, Standing in the Shadows. And we also have on side two, Slow and Easy. Spit It Out is another one that's on there. All or Nothing, Hungry for Love, Guilty of Love, and that ends the album. And then Needed Your Love So Bad is a Japanese bonus track. Friends, if you're not subscribed to the show, Morrison, YouTube channel, please do so. Everyone else out there, subscribe. Thank you much for the continued love, honor, and support. It's greatly appreciated. And that was the track listing for the UK release. Now, going into US and Canada, they switched it around with Sliding In, Slow and Easy, Loving No Stranger, All or Nothing, Gambler, Guilty of Love, Hungry for Love, Give Me More Time, Spit It Out, as well as Standing in the Shadow. And then the 25th anniversary DVD included the music videos for Guilty of Love, Slow and Easy, Loving No Stranger. Then we have Live at Donington 1983 of Guilty of Love, Loving No Stranger from the Stalkers in Tokyo. From the BBC Top of the Pops in 1984 was Give Me More Time, and then Loving No Stranger live from the Live in Still at Night, and that came up on the 25th anniversary DVD, and then there was a 2019 release as well. And on this album was David Coverdale, of course, on lead vocals, Mel Galley on guitars and backing vocals, Mick Moody on guitars, UK mix, some parts in the US mix but uncredited, John Sykes on guitar for the US mix, Colin Hackelson on the bass for the UK mix, Neil Murray on bass for the US mix, Cozy Powell on drums and backing vocals, Slow and Easy on keyboards was Mr. John Lord. The rest in peace to him as well. He passed away a few years back, I believe. But this was a great album. Sliding Easy. I mean, sliding in. Excuse me. Best songs on it definitely All Loving No Stranger, Slow and Easy, Sliding In, Guilty of Love, and then Hungry for Love and Give Me More Time. Those are my favorites on the album. So, friends, what are your favorite tracks off of the Whitesnake album, Sliding In? My voice is a little off. I do apologize for that as well. Your thoughts, friends, on the Sliding In album from Whitesnake? Shame, shame, shame